Hello everybody and welcome to yet another tutorial for the Nederlab onderzoeksportaal. This time around we'll be checking out the features of compiling your own corpus and, well, what you can do with that. Well, before we start, in order to make use of this feature, you'll need to be logged in to the website. If you haven't logged in yet, make sure you log in through your university account, either as a student or an employee. And then we can get going. So let's compile our corpus. There are many ways to, of course, get some results in this screen. For now, let's make it easy on ourselves and just select the sonar corpus. Automatically, the corpus will be featured here. We can now search and refine this corpus, because 2 million documents, that it might just be a lot. So let's come up with an easy query. Let's type in the lemma for boat, and we want it to be followed by an adjective. And search. Now we have 543 documents, which is definitely a good amount. So let's save this as a corpus. There'll be a button right here that says Save as Corpus. If we click it, now we've saved it as a corpus and we get this screen. Here we can give it a nice title. Let's say Boat Corpus. And then we save changes, make sure that this name is actually saved. Of course, we can also edit the description as we see fit, and we can edit anything in the search fields should that be necessary. So let's have a look at what we have now that's different from the usual result page. Of course, we can still go through all these functions. That won't be any different. But now we have a little red cross here in the left corner of every document that's featured in the results. So suppose we don't think voorbij is a true adjective. At least it won't serve our purposes. We can say, well, let's remove it from our corpus. And for now it'll be like this, and if you click the green arrow, it'll be right back, but we don't want it, so we're going to click it. And suppose there might be another one that we don't want. I'm not seeing any right now that seem a little doubtful, but suppose this is the only one we do not want in the corpus. If we save our changes, we will see that it no longer appears in the list, so we can't retrieve it through this way. Of course, if you look at the description above here now, it says one title removed. If we click this cross, this title will be re-added to the corpus and we need to save changes again. For now, let's not do that. I mean, why would we? We just removed it because we didn't want it. So let's have a look at the extra features over here. So a lot of these features will just be renamed versions of features you could already make use of through these tabs. But there are a few new ones, like trends. What you can do when looking for trends is you can type different words you might be curious at. So let's say boat and zeil for sail. What we then see is the use of boat, and we can compare it directly to the use of the word zeil. Do take note that they are looking for words and not lemma in this case. We can look at the relative amount of hits per words per document. So that's what's possible with the trends function. And of course there's the collocation method. With collocations, you can easily look for a word that is before or after the word that we type in right here. So suppose we want the lemma of boat to be the center. This does mean that every one of our hits will be considered now. And suppose we're looking for articles directly before the boat. Search. And if we then look, it will find you all the articles found before your point of origin, which in this case is the lemma boat. There are only 3 articles in Dutch, so it's not very surprising that there are only 3 results. And it's even more interesting to see that there are actually people who have written down het boot instead of de boot, which is, well, not proper Dutch, but it's very interesting to look at. You can click it, of course. And when you've clicked it, it will load up all the results that you've found. And it turns out that, in fact, I was wrong. Nobody wrote down het boot. But of course, the diminutive version of boat, het bootje, is proper Dutch. So that's an interesting find. You can always also browse to keyword in context to see the part of speech tags and the lemmas beneath the actual words. And you can download the whole thing as a CSV export. Alright, so let's leave this corpus where it is now, and let's go create a completely new corpus. We are once again going to Sonar, but this time around we are going to be looking at adjectives preceding the word, the lemma of boat, rather than following boat. So let's search again. As you can see, these are much more common than the other version, which is why this one is naturally less interesting from a linguistic perspective. But for this exercise, this is exactly what we need, because now we're going to save this as a corpus too. And we are going to call this boat corpus 2. And save changes. Of course, now we have 2 corpuses, and if we go to the My Nederlab button in the upper left corner, we can see that we have both corpora here in our collection. We can look at them, change them, delete them, visualize them, or go back to the collocation function instantly through this button. But we can also do other things. If we select them both by ticking these boxes, we can delete them at once, or we can put them together into a new corpus. And right now we have corpus 915 and corpus 916, which are these 2 corpora, added into one corpus, which may be useful for certain visualization data or whatever you can think of. This corpus now holds the data of every adjective preceding boat and every adjective following boat. Alright, there is one other different method of compiling your own corpus, and that is a very different way of working. So for that, let's just select a single collection for now. Let's do one we haven't looked at yet, like the Beschrijvingen Oost-Indische Compagnie. It's comprised of 7 documents, and suppose that our background research has indicated that this particular document is most useful for our research. As you will remember, when you have a corpus, there is a red X in the corner, indicating you can remove that particular document from your corpus. But we haven't built a corpus yet now, so now there is this card icon. So let's click the card icon. And what the card icon does is it selects this particular document and saves it for you. So suppose we want this one as well, and that one, and let's have a little look at the Brieven van Gogh. And let's remove that one from the selection screen, and this one and that one. We've now selected all the documents that have proven to be useful for us through background research or through whatever means you've selected them. If you click on the Save Selection, which now indicates there are 5 documents in our cart, we can click it and it will show us an overview of all the documents we've selected. Once you're happy with your selection, you can also delete all of them or delete them individually should you didn't have made a mistake. You can enter a name right here. We call it the corpus cart, and a description, which ideally should say something about the research you're doing or the relevance of these documents. And if you then click New Corpus, you will have saved these documents in your personal corpus, which you of course can search through in any way you want. Anyway, so that's one other way of compiling a corpus. Of course, you can apply all the corpus related tools to this corpus just like you would with previous methods. Alright, thank you very much for watching this tutorial on how to compile your corpus and what you can do with your corpus. I hope it was useful to you. If not, feel free to ask any questions in the comments below or through the Nederlab website. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time.